Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is, if I look at my computer, because I've actually lost track of what day of the week it is and where am I. It's December the 14th, 2017, and we are a little earlier today for those of you on the live stream, and started even earlier than the earlier original because I messed up and I had 7 p.m. Atlantic in my mind, and it was 7 p.m. Eastern that we were shooting for, but it doesn't matter because we ended up starting closer to 7 Eastern anyway, so here we are. Yeah! I'm filthy, I haven't showered because I've been just non-stop reading about this stupid godforsaken crypto nonsense for 4 straight days. But we're here. And we've got things to talk about, video games and everything in between. Gentlemen, how are both of you doing today? Mr. Black, how are you?
I'm good. Tired. Very tired. But good.
Excellent. Excellent. And how are you, Mr. Panic?
I'm doing all right. Running a bit of a fever, I think, but should survive this podcast.
Well, that's
Hopefully
good.
See some laser swords tonight.
Amazing. Yes, laser swords. That is a thing that's happening this evening. The first runs. I have gone pretty much social media dark because I won't be seeing it right away. So I'm gonna have to be play my cards close to my chest, I guess, here for the time being.
Not very good at card games, though.
Nah, that's true. So I might get caught off guard, but hopefully not. And yeah, but you're gonna go see that, Mr. Black. When are you scheduled to hop in?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow. And I don't know if it's a late show or 7 o'clock. I bought the tickets like 2 months ago, so I have to just double check and see what the time is.
Yeah, I thought my tickets were like for 11:30 tonight, so I was just gonna do the podcast and then roll up to Westchester, which is where my tickets are, like an hour away. And then my buddy's like, "Yo, it's at 10:30," and I'm like, "Sweet, that'll be fun."
Yeah, it'll be a gong show, I'm sure, for anyone everywhere, as all Star Wars releases are. But I'm going to go with, despite the fact that I have avoided everything for it, I'm going to assume that this one is going to be even better than the last one was. And
I only saw that first trailer. I have not seen anything
Ooh.
else. I didn't see anything after that first trailer.
Yeah, I've just seen I've seen like the odd flash on the TV, but not like the full meal deal. But I'm looking forward to it. Today, since we are indeed in the month of December and approaching the holiday season, and by that I mean we're technically in the season, but the holidays, I guess, specifically, the news is just getting thinner and thinner and thinner like Tiger Woods' hair. It just keeps going back and back to almost nothing, because most publications are bringing out their top 10 games of the year or their game of the year awards and their category awards and all this stuff. And since collectively we don't even play nearly enough games to have those lists, we're reliant on the slop, the spillover, the hot topics that show up briefly throughout the news week.
Did send you one more thing that did occur like in the past day or so.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, that. Okay, yeah, that's true. We can tie that in for sure. But the first thing on the list that we can talk about, I suppose, is I'm gonna front load this one, is that Patreon reeled that shit back in. Real quick. Real quick.
They tried to double down, and then they're like, "No, this is actually a bad idea. Abort."
Yeah.
And the double down got even worse.
Yeah, they got really, really, really antsy. They did try to do like that little release and where they were kind of explaining away, what was happening, and oh, don't worry, guys, it's gonna be okay. To which everyone said, "No, fuck you. The hell are you doing?" And they did. They totally backpedaled. I'm going to be honest. I didn't think they were going to actually backpedal on it, but they did. And so I guess kudos to them for that. Now they have to kind of build up trust with the entire community again. They've got to kind of start all over. They had just, which is annoying because they had just, not all that long ago, they had just built up all this goodwill with the community, and then in one foul swoop, they managed to erase basically everything that they had up to that point, and now they got to work kind of from square one again. But
look, at least they acknowledged they screwed up pretty bad, and yeah, they said they're gonna have to figure out how to do it, but they'll at least engage the creators this time. So you know what, a win's a win.
This is true. It is a win, thankfully, and it's a win. It's not even really a win for us necessarily directly. It's more of a win
it's a win for everyone that's not Patreon.
Yeah, basically. But it's good news because we did, here at least on our Patreon, we have a number of $1, $5, $10 tier people, and that would have sucked balls.
Wrecked them.
Just would have been a complete mess. So that was a seriously nice thing to see. So that's out of the way. Hopefully that's the last of that we're going to hear, and they don't come back. Although they said they're working on, because they still have to. I think the way they worded it was, that we still have to figure out a way to solve some of these problems that this originally set out to solve. So now we get to wait for the follow up at some point. What is it that they're going to try and do to solve the problems that they have, I guess, decided exist within the system. Hopefully whatever solutions they do have are a hell of a lot better than whatever the fuck that was. So we'll have to wait and see. And as far as gaming related stuff, and Panic's probably gonna have the most to talk about this, I'm sure, but Star Citizen is being sued by Crytek right now for things related to Crytek's engine, which at some point, Star Citizen was built on. So yeah, go ahead, Panic.
Yeah, so this is actually and again, this is a really polarizing topic because there's people who are really against Star Citizen and people who are really for Star Citizen. And everyone is just jumping on this bandwagon on each side. So I'm going to full disclosure initially in the beginning. I am a backer for Star Citizen. I have been following it, but I'm not fanatical. Pretty much, I know what I got into when I crowdfunded it. So either way, if they don't ship the game, whatever, that sucks. But if they do ship the game, I'll play it when it comes out. That's just my mentality. There's millions of other games out there I can play. So not the hugest deal for me. So that's kind of where my position is before I kind of jump into what actually happened here. So Crytek makes CryEngine, which is, everyone knows, makes the game engine for games like Crysis. Yeah, Crysis, Far Cry, and all these games. And it's a really good engine when it comes to doing graphics. And it was a really good engine up until about 2014, when Crytek started running into money problems. Real bad. They were not paying their employees for months. That's how bad it was. And around that time frame, there weren't many other engines out there. So Star Citizen is in development, and Amazon at the same time is starting to do a bunch of game development work. So Star Citizen being like, well, shit, if this company is not here and someone else buys the license, we might get screwed. So based on posts that they've put on their website and forum posts from 2014, they're like, yeah, so we talked with Crytek. We bought out the engine at the current version we have right now. We have all the source code. We have the engine. We hope they work their stuff out, but if not, we're okay. Right? And from that point onwards, Cloud Imperium Games, which makes Star Citizen, has not taken updates from Crytek, the developers of the engine. They haven't taken any patches, bug fixes, or anything. They've been doing the work themselves. So the original agreement that Star Citizen had with them was, hey, you work with us, we'll put branding and stuff on, and they had a whole contract and everything, and that they were going to use CryEngine for Star Citizen. Great, whatever. Amazon comes in, sees that Crytek's in trouble, and they're desperate. So Amazon's like, we'll give you $70 million. You let us use the engine however the hell we want. licensing, distribution, and Amazon uses that for the base of Lumberyard, which is their current game engine. And the thing is, they have no further relationship with Crytek. They're not using them for anything. They literally just bought the engine off of them and went off to the races, and they don't even have to give Crytek any money for whoever else they give this engine to. Crytek was desperate, took the money. Now, the hilarious part, which I don't know if it was coordinated or not, Amazon took the engine at the exact same version they split off as Star Citizen folk did.
Oh.
So Amazon went in one direction and Star Citizen went in the other direction, but Amazon only cares about doing all the crazy networking shit into AWS and making a ton of money by getting game developers on that. And then Star Citizen folk, they've been doing all sorts of graphics updates and stuff. So they're just like, you know what? Let's work together. So Amazon and Star Citizen get together and they pretty much start putting their engine stuff together and sharing notes. And this is where I think the major issue is coming in now, because effectively Crytek was probably like, hey, we're just going to get contracts from these guys to do development for both of them, and we'll make money off of this, as they're being successful. Turns out both of them don't need Crytek anymore. They've already, since Crytek wasn't paying people, they've got all their developers. They poached developers out. Even the attorney that wrote the contract between like Star Citizen and Crytek, he works for Star Citizen now. He left Crytek. He works for them now.
Crytek got absolutely dumpster. I mean, they made some stupid
They made $70
sales.
million.
Yeah,
Well,
but now here's what happens. It gets worse.
$70 million.
Yeah. It gets worse because that held them over for 2 years. They released a bunch of crap games that didn't really do so well. Crytek had like 1,000 employees.
Hold up.
They had. That's why I did quote air quotes.
$70 million
Gone.
lasted them 2 years.
Gone.
Oh, dude, it gets better. In 2016, 2 years after, they were having trouble paying their employees again.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
It's gotten so bad that they've, like, in the past year, they've sold off like 5 of their studios and like some of their properties to try to keep afloat. And then all of a sudden, this lawsuit materializes saying, hey, Star Citizen made all this money off of our work. They said they were going to exclusively use us. And then they took all of our branding off.
They're desperate, and they're not going to win.
So
they won't even be able to afford a lawyer to fucking fight the case.
So I was watching and reading up on some of this stuff, and I was reading the complaint, and I'm like, this complaint is really short for what they're arguing about. Like, they're citing like videos that RSI had like so Star Citizen is very transparent in some respects because they do a lot of content. Like, they have a weekly show they do, and they have like a bunch of things where they'll show developers like actually working on stuff, and they'll talk about bugs they have in the game, and they'll show devs like how they're fixing code, and they'll talk about how they're going through their process. And Crytek's like, in this bug smasher thing, they're showing bugs in code from CryEngine that they shouldn't be doing, all this other stuff. And at some point, they're just like, yeah, they should be giving us credit as copyright infringement. Now, Star Citizen has been very blunt in saying, hey, we haven't been using your stuff in a while. We actually call this thing something different in-house because there was a ton of things we had asked you guys for years. Like, and these aren't like little things. These were like big updates and upgrades they wanted. Crytek was not delivering, so they did it themselves. Like, these guys are like hardcore programmers too, so they did all the work themselves. But the original agreement that Crytek had said, bug fixes, patches, and upgrades that you guys develop, you have to give back to us. Star Citizen folks stopped giving it back to them after they bought the engine. So now you have the issue where Crytek's trying to get back into the game with their Gen 4 engine, but they're behind. Like, they're behind Amazon, and they're behind, Star Citizen or Stig at this point. So they're probably trying to figure out, like, well, shit, we can't really release Gen 4 if it's going to be worse than this other stuff out there.
So what I'm hearing here is that despite the fact that Crytek made some terrible life choices, and a series of terrible life choices, they still have a modicum of merit here in what they're coming at.
The lawsuit is not entirely frivolous, which is why it's concerning. But at the same time, it all comes down to what the terms of the agreements were. Like, we don't know the full game license agreement, but the other big thing is what was in the contract when Star Citizen bought the full engine from them in 2014.
I think the real question is, do we give a shit?
you might not, but a lot of people do. Like,
okay.
I'm a backer of the game. It's been blowing up. Like,
You're never getting
people,
your game. You're never getting your game.
I was playing the game earlier this week.
You're playing a shitty beta version of
Alpha,
whatever the fuck they were trying to do. I'm one of those haters you talked about at the beginning.
Yeah, I know.
I'm one of those guys, so it is what it is. Yeah. I don't care. Sue the fuck out of Star Citizen. It's not like they don't get the money.
Yeah, that's probably their biggest hurdle now is that they just flat out don't have the money. I mean, even if they have a case to work, Star Citizen could just drag it out so long that they run out of money and can't even act on it. So, like, unless their case was so, like you said, we don't know
curious what Amazon's going to do. Like, if Amazon's just going to jump in and say something.
Well, what is Amazon going to do? Because, I mean, the closest
Amazon
relationship they have now is that they moved it to Lumberyard. But
Amazon and this is why it's interesting, because Amazon and Cloud Imperium are doing a lot of sharing back and forth, because Amazon is doing, like, pretty much when Star Citizen folk, they want netcode or major enhancements done to the engine, they talk to Amazon and Amazon does it. In exchange, they're giving Amazon all the crazy stuff they've done on the graphics. So they're working a lot closer together than normal, but also from the market standpoint, a lot of game developers, and you don't see Lumberyard used by big games yet, because a lot of studios, they don't want to give the architecture or the servers to some outside company to run just yet. They want to do it themselves. But if Star Citizen actually does well, if they deliver and it's running on like Lumberyard with AWS and they do it well, it's a big win for Amazon. So Amazon would be willing to take a loss if they can demo that, hey, this tech works really fucking well.
Well, I mean,
then it'll bring other people in.
Amazon doesn't, and really,
this will be pennies for them to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think Amazon's going to give a fuck in this particular situation. I think ultimately the only thing that matters is the agreements that at the time of the purchase, Cloud Imperium, because like you said, they went ahead and they started exchanging stuff with Amazon as well, giving code out both ways. So depending on the agreement, Cloud Imperium could have also fucked themselves by handing over shit to Amazon in the middle of all of this when they weren't, legally allowed to be handing, updates that they were making to Crytek's engine in license to somebody else.
It all depends on how they did the exchange or if they did a full exchange.
So all we have to do now is wait and see what I'm sure the agreements will be the next thing talked about, the next details, because like you said, it's a very thin attack that they've come at Cloud Imperium with. I'm sure there will be more on the way, but until we know the agreements, tough to say. I don't necessarily want to see Star Citizen fail. I don't have a horse in this race. If it does, I don't really care. If it does well, I think that's great because it will be, despite the delay, the greatest crowdfunding game success of all time. To date.
Well, it still is. I mean, even if it does fail, it's still...
Well, okay, I'll say the one that actually reaches
the one
market.
That delivers.
The one that delivers. I'll reword it. The greatest delivery of a crowdfunded video game of all time.
Even if Star Citizen does come out, say in the year 2020, right? Which is probably realistic time frame of when this game would actually get released. So if it comes out, say, 2020, how do you think this game is going to perform? Like, I feel like the people that have backed it are going to be the ones that are going to play this. There might be some small interest outside of that circle, but they're not going to blow up to be this big, massive game. I just don't see it happening. It's not like they get released and everyone's like, it's not like it's a Destiny or it's a
They have almost 2 million backers already.
Yeah, but I mean, how many of those backers are still hanging out with Star Citizen?
That's the big question.
This is from way back in the day, right? Some of them probably even forgot the game exists. They just moved on. There's probably a couple 100,000 people that are actively going crazy on the forums and checking out updates. I mean, you even look on Twitch where people are playing the game and ain't nobody watching. Nobody cares. I don't see anything about it. The only time I ever hear about it is here on this podcast, and that's it. Like, this is supposed to be the biggest game ever. Like,
I think the only reason that we're ever going to see, or the next level of interest in it, outside of the core group of people that are waiting, like you said, for updates, is when there's a proper announcement made for a release date. When they lock
We
a
might
release
get
date
that.
in.
We might get that next week.
I think that's the only time where the rest of the gaming community that's been sleeping on Star Citizen now for like the last 2 years because it just went into this, you know, full-blown development mode, this endless development cycle, whatever the fuck you want to call it, for good or bad, for better or worse. If they announce an honest to God, hey guys, here's the release date. Now, obviously, there's a good chance, like every other game in the market, when it announces, it's going to get like a 3 to 6 month delay. But whatever, the fact that there is a date set is probably going to be when Star Citizen's talked about again in the mainstream.
Pretty much what people are hoping for next week, for the announcement next week, is that. And again, for me, I'm going to be really disappointed if they don't at least give us this next week. They want them to say, hey, the single player campaign version, like episode 1, which is supposed to be like 20 something hours of gameplay or something, or 30 hours of gameplay, you know, that's going to come out in this time frame sometime next year. That's what a lot of people want to hear. They want to hear that we're getting at least a single player part of it sometime next year. And that's kind of like the tipping point for a lot of people. And if we don't get that, that's going to be interesting. But they've been leaning towards they're announcing something big for the single player stuff next week.
Speaking of
6 planets.
Speaking of crowd-funded games, PUBG hit the Xbox preview in the last week. And it plays like a steaming, heaping pile of horseshit. What a shocker that is.
About exactly what we expected it would do.
Like, I want PUBG to do well, okay? Let me clarify this. Every time I dumpster PUBG, I have to clarify. Look, I'm pulling for PUBG because I like that style of battle royale game, but fuck me if this game isn't one of the most broken fucking things to have ever existed. And I mean, we all knew...
Oh my god.
We all knew that if
I had hopes.
If we can't run PUBG well on our super strong fucking PCs... Even in, like, the best case scenario, even on the Xbox One X, like, did anybody really expect this game to be more than a fucking PowerPoint presentation, let alone just get on the servers? That was actually the bigger problem, is that while it's technically very rough, they can't even get, like, people were having a hard time even logging in. It just was flat out just not letting people log in. It was giving them, like, a bunch of different error codes. It was just this hot mess. I don't even know if that's been resolved yet.
Are there any console shooters that have more than 64 people in a map?
Doubtful. And
if you think about that, all of PUBG starts in that little tiny lobby area. How do you fit 100 people on a console in that?
Yeah, I mean, it is Unreal 4, and it should technically be able to pull it off. I mean, really. But no, it is definitely going into some weird territory. But I mean, yeah, it's bad, and the community is, though it's weird. So on the PC side, people are in general in consensus whether they're pulling for PUBG or they're not pulling for PUBG, that the game is in a pretty sad state currently.
Yeah, you know what? Fortnite is actually gaining
really
massive momentum on PUBG. Massive.
Well,
like,
what did
not
I
even small? Huge.
What did I say?
I played Fortnite the other day, and I'm like, so good.
Yeah, what did I say a couple of months ago? I said PUBG is going to have 2 months after Xbox release, and shit's going to go tits up if they can't fucking figure it out.
Oh, that timer started.
The timer started, and we're already a week deep. And it's not looking so hot.
We got more viewers right now for Fortnite than there are PUBG.
Yeah,
right now.
So here's the thing:
is Lyric playing or something? Like who's carrying Fortnite? Anyone?
Yeah.
Lyric's not playing.
No, it's just numbers. Just numbers.
Get wrecked.
Yep.
And that's the sad thing. Like, we don't like dumpstering games, but they give us so many reasons to dumpster them. Like PUBG, especially. Like, I would love for there to be like a solidly well developed battle royale game, and Fortnite is going to come in, and right now you're seeing it. They're eating Bluehole's cake.
Of course.
And they're enjoying it.
This is the best case scenario right now for PUBG, because what happens? I mean, it's because here's what happens, right? Fortnite's already on consoles. They beat them to consoles ages ago.
Yeah.
People go and buy PUBG on the Xbox preview, and they go to log in, and for 6 straight hours, they can't even log into the game, let alone play a match.
Yeah.
What do? Let's hook up on some free-to-play Fortnite.
Yep.
And
that
they don't go back.
Fortnite, that
Nope,
original
they don't.
Fortnite
They realize
game,
it's better.
Yeah. That original
That's just
Fortnite,
a
they
show.
didn't really know what type of game they wanted it to be. I really want to know who there was just like, you know what, let's try making a battle royale out of this game. Because that was
Somebody
a
who
brilliant
saw
move.
the success of PUBG and said, yeah, we
I
can...
hope
Yeah.
that person...
Somebody got a raise.
I hope that person
big-
got a promotion. Like, not
big
just a
raise.
raise, but a big-ass promotion with it.
'Cause,
Somebody is running the company now.
Yeah.
You know that director of common sense we were talking about for EA?
You're
I
right.
hope that guy got that job.
But
Anyway.
yeah, so I was interested. I haven't touched PUBG since, I don't know, last time I played it, which has been forever ago now, because I said to myself, you know, I'm just tired of the server issues, and I'm tired of how broken the game is. I can only have fun with it for a couple of matches, and then it just builds up, and I'm just not having fun anymore because the game is just so fucking whatever. Some people can look past that shit. I'm not one of those people. So I just stopped. I said, look, I'm going to wait until the full 1.0 release, and then we'll give it some, I'll come back to it then. And apparently I haven't missed anything, because when they started releasing like this new map, and they were pushing the test server stuff out, and they were doing the vaulting and everything else, I'm watching streamers, the big guys, you know, Doc and Vis, and I'm missing one off the top, my Shroud. You know, they're all experiencing just shit, just pure liquid,
You saw the big
hot
the charity
magma
thing that they
shit.
had with Twitch, like that whole like Twitch tournament they had for charity with
Yeah.
PUBG. The final 2, the guy was stuck in a shed, so Shroud just headshotted him from far away, because like, he's just like, and then afterwards Shroud fell back. He's like, oh man, that guy was stuck in the shed. He's like, yeah.
Esports ready. No, it continues to be bad. It continues to be really bad. People on the new map, the rubber banding is worse than I've ever seen it. I mean, I had some bad
The new
rubber
map's
banding,
pretty cool though.
but the map's great. It's fine. That's the thing about PUBG is that conceptually
It's fantastic.
everything's fucking great, but the actual like performance of said game and being able to play it is the worst of any popular title in my memory in at least 10 years. I can't think of another game of this magnitude that has been so shit for so long. Now, before people get upset about the whole, well, this thing's in early access, well, that's fine. You know, up until, you know, the last, let's say, month and a half, 2 months, you could have told me early access, and I would have been like, yeah, you know what, you're right. I should check my expectations at the door. That's cool. We are, as of this recording, we are 6 days from when, by definition, the developer is releasing the 1.0 full first release of PUBG to the masses. At that point, they're considering the core game is done. They will continue to obviously add and patch and whatever else, but to them, the shit is done at the core. And if you watch or play it right now, it is so far from anything that resembles a game that is complete, even by any definition. It's so far away. And what was Player Unknown himself continues to be a fuckboy on Twitter. Now he's on Twitter talking about how intellectual property doesn't exist in video games, or like intellectual property rights don't exist in video games. And he keeps whining about people biting his idea, like his genre, his thing that he created, blah,
Why
blah, blah,
doesn't he
blah.
just stop worrying about what other people are doing and actually create a
Get your
good
shit
game?
together.
Because he's coming off like a whiny cuck
He is.
that is salty as fuck, that he can't get his shit together and his team can't get their shit together to create a coherent video game, and everybody around them are biting their style and doing it better. Welcome to the world of entertainment. It's been like that in movies. It's been like that in music. It's been like that in video games. It's like that in anywhere. You know, even if you're a streamer and you're not on top of your game and you get complacent, someone's going to do what you do and they're going to do it better unless you're willing to innovate and keep up that grind. It seems like they made a fuck ton of money and they got
lazy.
complacent as shit. Like every big, humongous, gigantic, enormous, fucking huge ass monster dick game that comes out, and they drop the ball. They
You know
just
what?
say, we're too big. We do whatever we want, baby. We run it.
I have some. I take a different stance on this. I don't think they got complacent. I just think that they don't know what the fuck
Shit.
they're doing.
You think they got confused? They got confused.
I think
and lost.
They got too big for their own good.
I think that this is what happened. Player unknown saw $ licensing out his shit to Bluehole to develop this fucking game and to put him on the board in the process. He saw some $, and I don't fucking blame him.
Nope.
Even a little bit. He sees this is the developer for Terra, one of, for many years, the most popular free-to-play MMOs in the fucking world. Okay? This was not like some rando indie developer hiding in like some, the back of a restaurant in Korea. This was a honest-to-God
They were a pretty good developer.
development
They knew their
house.
shit. Yeah.
Okay? Specifically with online-related shit. They're an MMO developer of one of the major ones. You would think that of all of the things, they would be a pretty good choice for this kind of project. So he goes and he does that shit. He hands it off, and then the game takes off like a bat at a fucking hell. Right, early access, and the player base is just ramping up, and I
feel like they marketed it too well.
They're finding out that I don't think Bluehole thought, I don't think PlayerUnknown thought that this was going to do as well as it did.
Yeah.
And at no point did Bluehole decide that we should be taking this endless stream of money that we're bringing in and bring in people that know the fuck they're doing. Instead, what did they do? They broke off a little corner piece of Bluehole and created PUBG Corporation and said, all right, guys, you're going to handle it. So now when people get mad, they can just yell at PUBG Corp, and we don't, at Bluehole, keep eating penis on a daily basis for fucking this game up every single time we release a friggin' update. So they do that. They break off PUBG Corp, which is probably run by about 14 people and a dog. And they are keeping... You straight-faced that. It caught me off guard. So they're keeping this team. I'm guaranteeing you right now, they are keeping this team as small as humanly possible, despite the fact that they are swamped in over their head, possibly even not even competent in the areas required for this genre and this game at the scale that it is currently at, to keep the margins as high as humanly fucking possible. And now here we are with the Xbox preview. Again, $. Oh, we're going to consoles. But then somebody went, wait, we only have 14 people and a dog working on this game. And now we want to develop for PC and Xbox in parallel when we can't even parallel our fucking updates on PC? How in the shit are we going to do that? And the answer is they don't. They don't. They fail at it, and they have a very small window. I mean, they've already made tons of money. I guess it doesn't really ultimately matter.
It doesn't matter at this point.
It doesn't really matter. But I think for PlayerUnknown, he's got like a huge ego problem, right? And he's insecure as fuck. So despite the fact that he's going to make a lot of money on this, if this game doesn't turn around and continue to dominate the way that he wants it to, he's going to be fucking salty as hell.
He's going to jump off a small bridge.
Yeah. It might not even be a small bridge. It might be a sizable bridge.
Yep.
But yeah,
speaking of jumping off, did you hear about that dude on YouTube that he does like crazy stunts and he was hanging off a building and then he fell and died?
Was he Russian?
No, he's Chinese, I think. He's Asian descent of some sort. But yeah, he's like a big YouTuber and he's done crazy stunts. And
like the
he was
let's
on
climb to a crane and then hold on to it with one hand type shit like
exactly,
that.
Yeah,
that's
taking pictures.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so he gets on top of like a 60-story building and he's hanging off it, and you could tell like he didn't have great grip and he almost didn't seem like he had a lot of energy to begin with. But he's sitting there, he's doing like push-ups on the top of the building, and then you can notice as he goes to do another pull-up, or sorry, not push-ups, pull-up.
Yeah.
He kind of gives out a little bit, and then you could see he's struggling. It's almost like he did like 3 pull-ups, and then he was going for the 4th, and the 4th just wasn't happening. And then he tried to grip the side of the building with his foot, and he was just slipping, and then he just jumped, and bye. It's all over YouTube, man. It's pretty fucked up.
Rip.
Yep.
Rip. I mean, it had to happen eventually. We see these pictures and shit all over the place. It seems to have originated in Russia, like most crazy shit does. And more people were doing it. I mean, you see guys like doing handstand push-ups on the end of edges of buildings and shit. Just, it's a Darwin Award, and he won it. He took home the gold prize for Darwinism. You've now officially cleaned up the gene pool because you just tried to do pull-ups on a 60-story building when you can't even hit 4. Good job.
Oh,
and he was filming everything. Like you can watch the video. It's just you don't see the landing obviously, but you see him fall.
Oh my god!
And it like when I first saw it, like I knew it was coming. Like I was watching it was like dude does his last thing, and then when you see it, it like choked. Like it was like. I felt like something was in my throat. Like I was like, oh my god! Like this dude just fell 60 stories. Like you can watch. He doesn't panic or anything, but you know he's struggling, and then just gone. And you're just like, oh shit, it's fucked up. So,
okay, hold on.
That just happened.
Okay, hold on. I need to listen to this.
It's long though. It's like 4 minutes.
What is?
Yeah, one sec. I'll link it to you. It literally like just happened like 20 minutes ago, apparently. But
were we getting breaking news somewhere?
No, this is some big ass news, Mr.
Yeah,
Black.
I don't know if I want to. Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys decide if we want to talk about it or not. But yeah,
I mean, big ass news. What do you guys? Come on,
Panic. While I talk about this and set this up, can you do me a favor and find a way to download that so I have the audio to inject post?
Guys, what's going on?
Just you do that.
I don't know how to download Twitch.
What's going on, guys?
Just figure it out. Figure it out, Panic.
Okay.
This is your job. This is big news. For the 4 people watching at home, this is a big fucking deal. Dr. Disrespect is apparently taking a break from Twitch for fucking up having this is all conjecture. I have not listened or watched or anything. After apparently, allegedly, we'll use our favorite word, allegedly, cheating on his wife.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is messed up, though.
I fucking hope that he didn't, because my respect for Dr. Disrespect will fucking
Well, it goes to
zero.
That quick. It actually goes that quick. So as of right now, it's probably just a rumor.
No,
but
this
then
is
again,
a clip from his stream that we're about
literally
to like, Panic can link you the thing. I'm gonna listen to it.
I just don't know how to download it so Adam can play it.
Okay.
Like this is literally from his stream, him talking.
I'm watching.
Oh,
this.
clip it and download it. That'll work.
It is. That's a link, isn't it?
That's not a clip though.
Oh.
Like if you clip it.
I'm muting you guys. I'm watching this.
All right, no, Jeff. I'm gonna count down so we start at the same time so we can both react at the same time. Are you ready?
Right.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, it's 3 minutes 43 seconds. Just started it up.
I'm going to tell you when to skip ahead to 154.
Oh, 154?
Oh, 154?
Yeah.
Okay, pause at 154 then.
All right, pausing. Whoa. Okay. I see him.
Oh, God.
All right, 154.
That's a bad look already.
Countdown?
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, guys. Kind of have a little bit of an announcement. And I just want to be completely transparent with you guys. As you guys know, I have a beautiful family and a wife and kid. And I want to be transparent that I've been unfaithful. And I'm probably going to be taking some time away time off to focus on stupid fucking mistakes, man. I'm gonna take time off to focus on my family, and so I just wanted to let you guys know that. And I apologize to you guys and Slick Daddy. I apologize to you guys, my sponsors and Twitch. And this is not who I am. It's not what I represent. And that's it.
Well.
Holy
Yeah.
shit!
That was entirely unexpected.
Well, it just goes to show.
Did we just lose one to fame, boys?
Absolutely.
so.
It's 100% what it is. You got a lot of women, the fame, the money,
All the awards and everything,
the invincibility complex, the rock star complex, get too big too quick, and you get consumed with your own ego. GG.
Holy shit. I mean, I'm not going to make excuses for a dude that does that shit. Of course. But it still doesn't change the fact that it's always hard to watch that shit.
Yeah. You could tell he's upset.
He
regrets
realizes he made a
everything
mistake.
what he did.
Some major regrets. And the only problem with this now, and I guess he went out to do this so that before something else broke it, right? Do it himself, which is obviously the right way to do it, right?
Yep. He took off the glitz and glamour.
Everything gone.
Just laid it out there.
The problem is that people will now be wondering be talking about if the wife found out or if he just came clean, which would be two totally different scenarios. It's still a shit gig one way or another, but the next thing people are going to wonder is, did he just get caught? And now, because if he came out himself to his wife and said that, right? It's still shit that he did it, but it's not a scenario where it's, oh, I'm feeling sad because I got caught. That's an honest, regretful, I fucked up. I'm still telling you right now before you find out.
I mean,
but if the wife
in an
finds
industry,
out, and now you're like, now you have to.
It's kind of a crazy
and say
industry,
it.
though. Like, you get put into those situations way more often than you would in other places.
I mean, either or. It doesn't matter if he got caught or he did it. He still did it. And if I had to, guess and speculate, in this type of industry, there are no secrets. And,
no.
If he slept with somebody that is in the gaming world, which I'm assuming probably so.
And
probably
very high chance, yeah.
Yep, probably somebody within that realm. And maybe that person went and told some other people or whatever, and then he found out it was going to come out, or maybe the wife found out, or maybe he just came clean. Doesn't matter what. Either way, he did it. You know what, man? This isn't TMZ. You know what? Somebody's family. They're going. This is domestic issues. This is something that him and his family. It says a lot about him that he'd come out and air the laundry out publicly with somebody that's so big and admit it, didn't make an excuse, very apologetic. You can tell he's absolutely crushed.
Yep.
I was getting kind of choked up just watching him.
Yeah. Same.
It's sad. Everybody makes mistakes. I'm not going to sit here and say,
you don't need to have conjecture about what happened.
I'm not going to sit here and say, Dr. Disrespect, you're forgiven or whatever. Listen, it's people in the spotlight do dumb shit.
Himself,
yeah, exactly.
Right?
I don't live his life,
no.
So I'm not going to sit here and judge. Everybody makes mistakes, but at the same time, his entertainment value when he does come back, I'm not going to be the type of guy that's going to go, oh, you cheating son of a whatever or what, being an entertainer, his work, obviously when you're such a big influence in this space, you are going to make, like, when you do shit like this, it is going to impact not only your career, but the sponsors that are associated with you, the, you know, Twitch as a whole. We don't know who the girl was. Is she associated with him or whatever? We have no idea. But, you know, this isn't drama alert. You know, we're not Keemstar here, you know, doing whatever.
It just happened, and I wanted to see that.
It's like a big deal, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
At the end of the day, he's got a child, and he's got a wife, and this is real.
Yeah.
This is real, and this goes to show, like I said, it's the Rockstar thing, and I guarantee that when if he does talk about this again, which I'm sure he eventually will come out and say something else when everything cools down, he'll probably admit it from being a rock star.
He went zero to where he went 0 to where he is in 9 months
on Twitch, at least.
On Twitch. Well, he hadn't really done much on YouTube in ages, and his true fame where he is now is 100% Twitch. Like, nobody care about his YouTube channel previously, whatever. That's where the character was born, but it wasn't the mammoth that it became on Twitch. And it's a hugely short period of time. He wins all these awards. He crushed it. He fucking crushed it for 9 straight months.
Everything.
And so on top of that, he plays the rock star mentality. He basically, his whole character is a 1980s wrestler. Like he takes the same patterns of theater from that, and when you play it up, and you do it 8 hours a day, it's gonna become part of your personality. Then you get caught in these weird situations. You go to these events and shit, and
the wife's home.
The wife's home.
Got women are hanging all over you. Yeah. You're at these parties with alcohol and drugs and you name it, and you're the fucking center of attention.
And I don't want to. I'm not going to say any names, but for even the small events that Jeff and I went to back in the day, and I don't want to. This is going to be the most sexist thing that I'm going to probably say in a long time. The women that are involved in by and large, the fangirls or even the ones
They're groupies everywhere.
They are fucking hardcore thirsty groupies. Not all of them, but there are a lot of them. Like a ton of them.
You will see smoke shows like straight dime pieces.
Yes.
With straight 2 pieces.
Yes.
Of nerds. And it's because they want the parties. They like the money.
I remember when we were in Rhode Island, and we went to the after party. This is when StarCraft was actually relevant, and we were at the after party. And with the situation you just described, a 10 spot and Leok, 16-year-old Korean kid, bless his heart, is not a 10. And he didn't even like
dance moves are a 10.
Like he's on the dance floor,
and
I was like, yes. Jeff and I were clapping for him. We were like, yes. But at the same time, you're watching it going,
no.
What is happening right now? What's happening right? But that is it. So you can imagine, take that and extrapolate it to the Doc, who is a legit 6'8", attractive.
He's a stud.
He's an attractive motherfucker.
He's a stud.
Who talks the talk, walks the walk, gets in this situation. Can you imagine the hordes of thirst, the power thirst, the Kenyans?
Want some of that Doc disrespect dick.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
The triple D.
So I can only imagine the situations he probably found himself in the last 4 to 6 months of his life were probably bonkers, and it's not okay what he did. But again, like we said, to wrap it up, it shows a lot that he came out, took off the pomp and circumstance, the makeup, the gear, bit the bullet, and told the entire community. And let it all out, and didn't make excuses. I think that's the most important part. There's zero excuses. He seemed 100% regretful. That is a dude who, because he always struck me as a dude, like I envisioned, like he's probably one of the greatest dads I could in the world. And so, in terms of like how he probably treats his little girl,
he's a man, and the temptations. You put pussy in front of a dude that is on the ultimate high, and the wife is at home.
It's tough,
and under the right set of circumstances. Listen, you can make a mistake just like that, and that's it, right? And so, I feel for him. I really do feel for him. He put it on himself, but I feel for him, and it's gonna suck because it's gonna taint his entire career.
Yeah.
He's gonna deal with the amount of Twitch trolls will be absolutely astronomical from here on out. It's the same with Man vs. Game. You know, as soon as he came out with his problem, which was amazing that he would come out and admit these things and help somebody.
There was like a 6
and there's a twist to it.
But,
I mean, that would drive somebody right to go back to their old vice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we'll see how he handles it, and hopefully him and his family can work this through. And obviously this isn't going to paint the full picture of him because he seems like a really great guy. I mean, I don't know him, right? I don't know. He might be a complete dick behind the scenes. I actually have no idea. But
usually
seems
there's
like
some
a genuine dude.
Yeah, you can hit some red flags pretty easily in these kind of instances, and he always seemed like a pretty good.
I met
dude
him in passing at TwitchCon. This was like an after party, but he wasn't in like full costume, but like he seemed like to be genuinely enjoying himself and genuinely interacting. Like there were tons of people just like walking up to him to get selfies and stuff, and he was always like super happy about it. Like he was like enjoying the moment. Like he didn't seem like aggravated or whatever.
Well, he didn't. I don't think in the general sense he let his celebrity get to his head. I think that this was just like a situation where, like, yes, that is technically the same thing as letting your celebrity get to your head to bite on one of those situations where you're gonna have an affair basically. But when you watched him in general, just at conventions and interacting with people and shit, it is really easy to spot when somebody is fucking faking a storm up and just putting on the smile and signing the shit and patting the people on the ass and sending them on their way and whatever, versus somebody who actually is enjoying themselves and being there. And he was always in that latter camp for sure. So yeah, hopefully he works it out. All the best to the family. I'm sure that's not the last we've heard of it because he's so huge that we're gonna get stuff trickled for time anyway. But all the best for that situation. Hey guys, guess what time it is? It's time for movies and TV and movies. Here we are. Someday I'll actually have like a jingle to put in here. Probably not. A man can dream. So the one thing that we had written down immediately, actually we had two things technically, and we can start with the newer one, I guess, is the whole Fox Disney acquisition thing. That's a pretty big move. What do you gentlemen think about that?
Go ahead, Panic.
My newest favorite Disney princess is definitely going to be the Xenomorph. But I feel like there's been it's been like a will they won't they for I think a couple of years now. Especially with like Marvel and a couple other, things that they've been wanting to get access to their properties back, like they get X-Men back now.
Yeah. That's the big thing. That's what I'm most excited about.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be some regulatory hurdles with Fox and Disney trying to merge now, but beyond that, like, I don't really see a problem with it. Like, Fox has done good stuff. Disney's done good stuff. It's just bringing the family back together in respect.
I think we'll actually get an actually good Fantastic Four film down the road.
Is that
even think
possible?
About that. I didn't even think about
Does
that.
such a thing exist?
Yeah,
they need Doctor Doom. Marvel does need
one.
Doctor Doom back in the fold, like for Marvel stuff. Like he's a relevant villain.
Very relevant. In everything that, like, even the Avengers and all this other stuff, there are characters that were not able to be part of all of this because of rights. So now, hopefully, we'll get some new characters in the mix, add them in. X-Men will be great. Now they don't have to call them like Inhumans or...
They can do Phase 2 properly now.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, there's still going to be a bunch of hurdles because there's a lot of timeline fuckery. There's a lot of like weird things that were going on between the different studios. So it'll be interesting how they handle that, or they just kind of pretend it never happened. We will see. But it's all good stuff. I mean, there's nothing bad about this at all.
No.
To be fair, Fox hasn't been doing anything great with their stuff for a while. So
when do you think we're gonna see the first fruits of this whole thing?
Yeah.
You might see the characters.
I think probably in 2019.
You'll see the characters probably in 28. You might even see them
Maybe
towards the end of 2018.
Yeah, December,
But
November.
like you won't see like any. You're not gonna see any franchise films from the Fox stuff probably for another 2 years. But you'll see the characters start coming in probably next year or so.
We'll get a new Wolverine. We'll get all that stuff guaranteed.
Yeah, what do you think they're gonna do? Is that what you think they're gonna
Disney's
cash
gonna
in
be
first
on
on?
board?
Because that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is what's their? They just spent all this money. What's their first move to make some of it back?
Here's my thing though. Do you think Disney's gonna be on board with R-rated movies again? Because they haven't
I think
really
so.
done anything.
I think though they might even yeah. I mean, I don't think they're gonna put. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's
a tricky
interesting.
one because like the Wolverine, like Logan was R, Deadpool was R. Do you think Disney's just going to let that ride with the dollar signs?
Yeah, I think so. I think they will have their line of rated R films, but they just probably won't slap Disney kind of all over it.
Yeah.
It might be like a little
That's fair.
sort of studio that's under the umbrella of Disney. But you never know. They may like PG-13 it up. Have no idea, but I would imagine with this success, and to get to your question, I don't think they're in any rush to make any money back. They're Disney. I mean, they're gonna their movies are just billion-dollar movies, and they don't
got everything making.
Yeah,
billions.
I mean, they go ahead and buy whatever, and they're not like, oh, how do we recoup this? It's like, hey, Star Wars comes out today, money recouped and some.
Yeah.
So it's just it's whatever at this point.
They can buy a movie studio with every one of their movies that comes out.
Yep.
This is true. Who do you think plays next Wolverine? Any picks?
Honestly, I don't have one off the top of my head because Hugh Jackman was just
that's
so good.
That's something I'd have to think about pretty hard. But
Yeah.
hopefully it's not anybody big.
I was going to say, do you think they're going to go like nobody to start it again?
I think it'll be another person overseas. It won't be somebody North American. But I think it'll be somebody that's reputable, but not movie star
huge.
status.
Yeah. Well, I need to get an in for that low money of the first film. Don't want to pay.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be a very tough one. They might even go with a young Wolverine or something, right?
That's true.
To try and get somebody in that role for the next 10 years or whatever the case may be.
I suppose it's true.
They might even go crazy and bring back fucking what's his face? Fuck Wolverine. Hugh Jackman. They might even pay him.
Do you think they could convince him to do that after?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But you never know, right? You offer a man $50 million to do a movie, and
he might just say yes. That's very true. The next one that we have here on this list, anyway, of the two things that Panic managed to drudge up from the depths of no news this week, was the Venom movie, who is apparently hinting that this is going to be sans Spider-Man. No Spider-Man and Venom. What do you guys think?
I'm okay with that. I'm going to be honest, like, I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan. Like, I do like the character, but I would love to see a Venom movie about Venom. Kind of make him a Loki, kind of make him an anti-hero, somebody that's bad.
Well, he's been an anti-hero. He started off as a villain, but he kind of became like one of the epitome anti-heroes of the Marvel universe, other than like the Punisher.
Yeah.
So he was kind of like big in that respect. That's part of the reason why Carnage actually came about as a character.
I was going to say
Venom became like the anti-hero, so they went Carnage because they're like, we need someone even more freaking savage than Venom. We made Venom the Savage.
Do we get Carnage in this movie, or do we not get Carnage?
I don't think we're going to get Carnage for a while because I think Carnage is going to be R. Carnage movie would need an R rating in it.
I'm surprised. I mean, doesn't Carnage. Venom also pretty much
Venom might need one
necessitate R?
Yeah.
On the acting and actors casting side of it, Woody Harrelson is also in talks right now to join the movie alongside Tom Hardy.
I'm in.
Which makes it even more interesting to me.
Tom Hardy.
I'm already in with Tom Hardy anyway.
Oh yeah, but like the Woody Harrelson thing makes
Tom Hardy and Woody Harrelson, and you've just
Woody.
I'm in. I don't really care. Put Bob Barker in as fucking Venom. I don't really care at that point. We've already made it. Although Tom Hardy would probably, I'm guessing, be the Venom casting possibility.
I believe.
Yeah,
so.
Tom Hardy's playing Venom.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So then, who would Woody be in that universe?
It's rumored. They haven't even announced a role for him.
I'm okay with that. Just put Woody Harrelson in everything.
Huh?
I'm okay with that. That's fine.
He's your Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey is my Matthew McConaughey. No, I just like Woody. I'm just happy Woody's in so much like high profile shit recently. I don't know. I can't even tell you why I like Woody Harrelson. I just like him. It's
because
like
of True Detective.
I watched.
I love him because of True Detective and Zombieland.
I watched Cheers as a kid, and then I was like, oh wait, this is Then he was in The Odd Thing here and there, and then True Detective happened, and then it just put me over the fucking moon for Woody Harrelson. So, yeah, give me some more Woody Harrelson. That's literally all I have.
Oh, okay.
What
cool.
else? What
Star Wars?
Well, I mean, none of us has actually seen it. Predictions, gents. On
I don't want to make anything. I don't want to do anything about Star Wars until next week.
Okay.
Jeff knows where I'm at. Jeff knows where I'm at.
It's gonna be good.
I don't want to think about it.
I've been staying off the internet. I've been staying off Twitter. I've been staying off.
I'll just ask this: do you think that you're going to enjoy it more than the first one?
Than episode 7?
Yeah.
Yes,
episode 7.
I do.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah.
Great. Star Wars done. All right.
There's actually a little bit more interesting tidbit I just pulled up on the internet about the Disney Fox thing.
Oh, okay. What's that then?
It wasn't actually about the Marvel stuff that they wanted to buy Fox for. They wanted it because it actually includes all the rights to Avatar and FX Network. So all the FX stuff that Fox has done, Disney gets the rights to also.
Wow.
That includes like Futurama and all the FX shows that were really good. Because they apparently, I think it looks like this is coming from CNBC and some other stuff, but they're saying that they wanted it because they need content for the streaming service they've been wanting to do.
Isn't FX American Horror Story?
It might be. But yeah, the deal required them to include the FX Network stuff.
Huh. Yeah, I guess kind of like you guys were alluding to a bit with the movie side is I'm interested in how many toes Disney puts in the R-rated pond, so to speak.
Yeah, so like this actually makes more sense. Like looking at it from this angle, it kind of makes more sense why they bought Fox other than the movie properties, because they're pulling all their stuff off of Netflix next year. That's already been like announced.
Right, yeah.
So because they want to do their own service, but we talked about their own streaming service like a couple of podcasts ago. And we were like, what else are they going to do on there other than the like Disney stuff? But like, okay, no, this is a big content stable that they're buying up. So it looks like they're willing to throw money to just buy content they can put on their own service.
I guess. I mean, there's only really a handful of things on FX worth watching. So I
mean,
know.
I used to watch all the FX stuff all the time. Like this includes like Buffy, Futurama, Simpsons. But like I used to watch like Rescue Me and a lot of the older FX shows. They were really good quality TV.
Yeah, I guess.
We'll see. I think they really wanted X-Men. To be honest with you,
they definitely did want X-Men.
That's what they want.
Yeah, I think it's just a bonus. What FXX is also a part of FX, right? So is that also included then? I guess.
I guess so.
Man, well, I guess now we get to wait and see how they treat some of this content that is most certainly not the usual Disney fare. I still hate the fact that they're doing their own platform. That is some of the most fucking annoying
but if anyone could
nonsense.
Do it, it would be Disney.
Yeah, but it's just so annoying. Just like how many. I mean, really, at this point, it's people might as well just not own cable. Period. Yeah. I mean, many people have already done that, and that's cool if you're a hipster that have already cut the wire for cable. But like, you might. It's going to get to the point where you're paying almost as much for all these streaming services to get your content than you were for cable in the first place.
You kind of have to realize though, like if you go off of cable to cut the cord to save money just so you can watch stuff on whatever service is there, all those content producers like Disney, Fox, whoever, they're going to want their money somehow. If they're no longer getting it from, Bell Alliant or whoever does cable in Canada, Verizon, whoever here, and they're, people are just going to Netflix, they're going to try to figure out how to get the money from the user directly.
Well, so of course, but I'm not saying that it's a stupid business move for Disney. I'm just saying it's horribly fucking annoying at the consumer level.
Inconvenient for us.
It's really inconvenient, and there's going to be some
at the same time as what we asked for.
I guess. I mean, I suppose. I don't know how much I'm on with that because it's just it's silly because it just becomes so many different standards and you're
just give me a Roku channel.
Yeah, well,
and
it is
if I
what
want
it is.
I'll buy it. Yeah.
It's just from the consumer side, it's bullshit. I watched, or I should say, we watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Finally, we joined the rest of humanity.
There you go.
Finally,
You did it.
I thought it was okay. I mean, when I say okay, I mean it wasn't like I was sitting there like this is the greatest movie I've ever seen. I didn't think it was a bad movie either. I just kind of I was lukewarm about pretty much everything happening in the movie. And I really enjoyed, I mean, I went to the theater for Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I really enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy 1. And I had pretty high expectations for 2. And it was just kind of lukewarm for me. Drax is a touchdown and 3/4. He continues to be, I think, my favorite part of Guardians of the Galaxy. And when they
the nipple payoff was phenomenal.
Well, yeah, when they taught, oh yeah, the payoff at the end for that joke, just I just slow clapped. It was like, oh my god, they cashed in on that. Damn, it was a long time to cash in on that. That was a long sell, and they pulled it off. But his interactions with, what was her name, Mantis or whatever I think was her name, best part of the whole movie. Were those two characters. They went, the thing I think that kept me lukewarm on Guardians, and I understand why it's the way it is, because it's a lot for kids as well, is that they would set up the joke, execute the joke, and then spend the next 30 seconds ensuring that you caught the joke. Like, we really need to make sure that you understand that we just did this specific joke. So we're going to nail it home 2 or 3 more times and make sure it happens.
I don't feel like they went that far with it. And it was kind of went back to, like, one of the big pieces of feedback they got on Drax was kind of one of the characters kind of guilty of doing that. But
well, he was worse in this movie even about it than the first
one.
Well,
there was a reason for it, because in the first movie, when Drax came out as a character, a lot of parents and a lot of kids came out and they loved the Drax character, because for kids who had social issues or autism and stuff like that, they could really relate to them. So Marvel was like, you know what? It's not a huge deal to let Drax kind of embody that, because the parents were, one of the big feedback from parents was, my kids felt included when Drax would do something like that, and then they understood what was going on. Yeah. And, it brought them into the fold. So I feel like they leveraged that for 2. And I was all right with it, because, 1, it was pretty funny to watch at the same time,
well, I'm not necessarily talking about Drax specifically, because I understand exactly what you just said. Drax's character is definitely now being used as an analogous figure, like a bridge, for kids in that spectrum, right? And that's awesome that they're doing that shit, because even though I'm not in that target group, I still think that Drax is a fucking amazing character, and I laugh whenever he does shit, and it's great. But I don't know, I could watch it again and maybe I'd have more examples off the top of my head, but I just felt like not every joke, but the majority of the jokes, and I'm not saying Drax's specifically, were just like, here's the joke, and then let's make sure that you got the joke, which just kind of dragged a bit for me. Oh, probably the best example, and I know I might get some flack for this from some people, but I'll try and frame this, even though this is an older movie now. Baby Groot trying to get the thing. And everyone should know that's seen the movie knows what I'm talking about. That shit went... They looked at the comedy rule of 3s and said, fuck it. We're going for the comedy rule of 14.
Make it awkward.
We're just going to make it just keep going. Fuck it. We need this movie. It needs to be this length or something. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, but that's like the best example I have is Baby Groot getting the thing. Fuck the comedy rule of 3s. Just do like 7 or 8 different items. Fuck it. Go for it. It went a bit long. But anyway, thumbs up. As a movie to watch for entertainment, fucking awesome. Probably was even more amazing in the theaters. I enjoyed it sitting on my couch just as much. So, good job.
I think if I were to sit down and watch movies with you, I'd probably hate your guts.
Probably.
I
don't say these things when I'm watching them. Like, I laughed out loud a lot watching Guardians and everything. Like, I thought it was great. I did. I enjoyed it. But I just kind of like, I was lukewarm, and then all of a sudden Drax would make a joke, and I was like, yeah.
I just found it a lot. I just had a fucking blast watching.
I enjoyed it.
It was just so much.
It was fun. It was probably better in theater than it was sitting on the couch. Ultimately, like as a like entertainment piece, but I still enjoyed it.
I think I mentioned it when we talked about it. But my only issue with the movie was that they kind of knew what they were, but at the same time they'd be like in like a serious part, and they would just completely break it with a joke because they knew they were getting too serious.
Oh yeah,
and they did that like so many times. I was like, all right, you're kind of like rehashing the same like shtick, but I'll go with it. I enjoy it.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, and they showed up. They're now part of the whatchamacallit movie. Fucking the Guardians are in
Infinity War.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Yep.
But yeah, there you go.
That's pretty much it in movies.
Amazing. Hey, Jam.
Yeah.
Did you finish watching Stranger Things yet?
No, I didn't. No. And no. I haven't done.
Have you started? How far are you
doing crypto? That's
I was gonna say, what if it was called Stranger Crypto? Would you be done by now?
Then I'd be all over it. I would have watched it 10 times over, and I'd be analyzing it to shit.
Yeah, crypto things.
There you go, crypto things.
Crypto things.
You should do a crypto show called Crypto Things with the whole like Stranger Things shtick.
Just make it an '80s themed crypto show
or a game of cryptos.
Oh, Crypto of Thrones.
Crypto of Thrones.
A song of
coin and fire.
Oh, fucking Jesus. Move on to the next segment, for Christ.
We don't have one, do we?
The coin and fire.
Oh, no, the next segment is tech. There we
go.
Tech support.
Let's do tech support. There you go.
All right.
Tech support. Support.
It sounded like the beginning of an infomercial, like a bad late night infomercial.
All right, let me get questions up here.
That's what I'm doing right now. Oh shit, we're back up above the 4K, boys!
The dream. The dream.
All right. Oh, we got lots of questions this week. Fantastic.
Oh, sweet.
Fantastic. Let's see.
Yes, we started early today. Panic is going to see Star Wars tonight, so just did a bit. I'm actually kind of happy we did it early today because I have some stuff I got to do later, so it's all good.
You mean there's crypto to do later?
Yes, there is.
You don't even have to say things. We all know what you're saying.
Oh yeah,
crypto
we should actually
until
probably
7
mention
o'clock
that.
in the morning. This is what you're doing.
No, I'm going to bed by 4 tonight.
By 4 tonight.
By 4.
Easy there. Edgelord.
We should probably actually mention we're doing Wednesday next week.
Yes, we are. Next week. For those of you on the live stream, we'll be doing it Wednesday next week. So it'll be a different day. Same, yeah. What time is it? Same time, just Wednesday. So or 8 p.m. Eastern time Wednesday.
Yes.
Hey guys, got a question for you.
All right.
Comes from our boy Travis here. New $10 pledge.
Thank you, Travis.
Fresh off the block. So fresh and so clean. He asks, what is your favorite album or single of all time? And what is your favorite album or single right now?
My favorite album and single of all time is Thriller. Michael Jackson, Thriller, and the single, Thriller.
Shock.
Boom. Do I even need to explain why? It's the greatest album of all time. There's not a better album ever in the history of ever. So, Godspeed.
What about now? Maybe new hit single and album.
I'm all over Post Malone right now.
Me too.
I would say Post Malone. Oh, man.
M's got his new album. Did you listen to that yet? The stuff that's been slowly leaking out for it.
No,
you know what it is. You want a preview? Remember when M dropped Mosh back in the day for Bush?
Yeah.
He's got like a 7-minute long song for America Today. And it's all, dude, it's all over the place. It changes tempo, fucking beats. Like, you don't even know what's happening half the time. Like, I look back over at the track, I was like, is this still going? Is this a different song? So yeah, it's there's some shit there.
I'm just gonna go Post Malone. I'm on that Rockstar tip.
Yep, me too.
You know, I gotta go on the Rockstar, but he's got so many fire songs. He's got like 5 songs I just listened to on repeat.
Absolutely.
So I'm waiting for his new album. Post Malone's where it's at right now. He's my favorite artist alive at the moment.
Yeah. I would agree with that for the current. If you asked me this, you know, pre-Post Malone, it was probably going to be The Weeknd. I would have probably said
Starboy's good.
And who knows, The Weeknd drops some shit. I think that's going to be the fun thing. We'll see if The Weeknd can pull back on Post Malone, because Post Malone's run fucking wild. Like you said, those 5 songs. It's not like Post Malone dropped 1 song and it got popular. He's literally got like 5 songs trending everywhere constantly right now. As for my all-time, I don't actually know. My tastes vary so much. I mean, if I had to pick one, then there is a good chance that instead of the Thriller album, it's Bad. Is probably.
I have both of those on vinyl.
Yeah, so do I. Originals. I've got 2 copies of the original Thriller on vinyl.
Ooh, I just got my Star Wars tickets. I got them at 7:50 tomorrow night.
So from my end, I was gonna say Thriller, but I'll let Jeff have that one. My secondary is gonna be a little bit more modern. Jimmy Eat World Futures.
Okay.
One of my. It's not one that like any individual song I'm not too huge on, but like listening. It's rare to find an album that you can enjoy listening to from start to finish. I feel like it's a much better album when you listen to it from the beginning to the end, you know, without jumping to songs. They got some really good songs in there. It's one of my favorites. Right now, I'm gonna get some flack for this, but Tay-Tay.
Tay-Tay. Taylor Swift.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, man!
I don't know, man.
What's wrong with you, dude?
The most recent one was pretty good.
What is wrong with you?
Look what you made me do, Panic. Look what you made me do.
Unbelievable.
I could have been on board with you, like every now and then, like I'll not this album, but some, I can't even remember the name of the song. But there was a point where there was one song Taylor Swift did where if I was in the car and I wasn't paying attention so that I'd check myself before I wrecked myself, I'd be tapping my finger to it. Can't remember the song. But this new Taylor shit, I can't decide. I
enjoyed it.
I can't decide. Well, I could probably decide, actually, but for the sake of a joke, I can't decide what's worse. Taylor Swift rapping or attempting to rap, or Rihanna attempting to rap. I can't decide who's
definitely
worse.
Taylor Swift.
Well, that's why I said. That's why I said
Rihanna looks good doing it.
That's why I said there's an obvious joke for the
Swift
joke.
Looks like a fucking weird tall horse. Fucking horse face.
Sarah
I don't watch the music videos, yo.
She just gets on my nerves, man. I think people that I think dudes like Panic that like fucking Taylor Swift are the same type of dudes that like fucking weeb music, you know? That you have no idea what they're saying. It's just fucking stupid. It's just, anyway, it's subjective. So by all means, god damn, that's just horrible. God, your favorite artist right now is Taylor Swift. The fuck are you listening to? Like, you know, it's one thing if you said, you know what, there's this Taylor Swift song that I find catchy, I like this, but your favorite living artist right now, I have to go with Tay-Tay. You actually say Tay-Tay like I knew what the fuck you were talking about? Did you just say Tay-Tay?
Yes. It's a joke from The Rock, man. But the guy, Travis asked right now, I'm not going to lie to him about that.
Oh, you should have lied. It's horrible. It's horrible. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. I mean, I can't hate on him because I was all up on Justin Bieber for like fucking 6-9 months.
But Justin Bieber actually was producing some good music. He's talented.
Justin Bieber sucks ass.
Says the guy that likes Taylor Swift.
Look,
where
dude,
she fucks every dude in Hollywood and writes a song about it. And cries and goes on.
Look, I can't help it that I like the song right now.
That's how I felt.
Some songs get in your head sometimes.
That's how I felt about Justin Bieber when it happened. And I was like, I realized in the car, this was like his last album or whatever.
Which was fire.
Which is, yeah, but I was listening to it, and I realized at one point that I had no idea I was listening to Justin Bieber. I was like, this song is fucking awesome. Every time it came on the radio, fucking turn that shit up. I was friggin' all jamming to it, and then I heard it was Justin Bieber, and no joke, I internally, like, muscles just fucking, what? What? I had some cognitive dissonance.
It's like that thing where you're looking at a hot chick. It's the thing where you're looking at a hot chick and you're like, damn, I'd look at that ass, I'd fuck that, and then she turns around and it's like a dude, and you're like,
yeah, but then you have to check yourself and go, all right, you know what? Props for the nice legs. I can't.
It's got a nice ass. Not gonna lie to you, but
you caught me. All right,
you got me, motherfucker. You got me. Fuck. But I'm never looking at it again. But Jesus, you got me. God damn. It's happened. I'm not joking. It's happened.
Oh, it's absolutely. That's happened to everyone. If you say it hasn't happened, you're just lying to yourself.
It's definitely happened.
Oh, it's absolutely.
There's this curse at conventions. I've learned this, but you guys know Kevin from Amplifier.
Yeah. Kevin's on and off the juice.
Yeah. Let me just go this way. Look, there's like a 90% chance if you run into a Sailor Moon cosplayer at a convention, it's a dude. So make sure you make that distinction before you like start checking them out and talking to your friends about them. And someone going on, he's like, dude, that Sailor Moon cosplayer over there is super hot. I'm like, that's a dude.
Too tired for this tech
I had to drop it. I was like, I'm happy for him because he's blowing up the gym. There was a period of time he was hitting me up for some workout routines, and I was like, dude, I haven't touched a goddamn weight in fucking 2 years, and you look like you've been jacking yourself up with horse tranquilizers for the last 9 months. Just don't do CrossFit and call it a day. Fucking, I don't know.
Mad props to the dude, though.
He's jacked as fuck. He looks like he could pick up a car right now, for all I know. It's just, steroids a hell of a drug.
All right, next question.
Next question. What do you got? All right, that was mine, so somebody else can go.
Virulin, who is a $10 supporter, $85 a lifetime. He said, in high school, we have a couple hour-long assembly 1 year that had lots of fun and interesting stuff. At the end of the accolades given to students, like a diploma ceremony, I was given most likely to shoot up the school. This was just after Columbine, and
what?
I guess I fit the stereotype. Okay. I wanted to refuse it, but was forced on the stage anyway to laughing and cheering. Have you ever been given a weird award, accolades, or awards that you hadn't been attributed to? Sorry if this goes above and beyond. Keep up the good work, and congrats on surviving the Patreon scare.
Can we just back up the fun bus here for 1 second? All right, Jeff, can I get a bus in reverse noise real quick?
Beep beep.
Thank you. All right, can we just all accept the fact that apparently a school administration decided that it was going to be a good idea to hand out an award for most likely to shoot up the school, let alone actually give a student said award.
Force them up to it.
But post-Columbine, be like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do the joke. Let's do most likely to shoot up the school. Can you imagine if you do that right now? You'd be sued into the fucking ground. You crazy that is?
I wonder if on the certificate it had most likely to shoot up school. That would be kind of fucked up.
God,
we didn't have that. In my yearbook we had those things in the back where it would say like most likely to such and such. I had actually.
You had something to be like like most likely to be on TV or something like that, or
give me. You go ahead and do your thing. I'm gonna grab my yearbook.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been given anything kind of crazy like that, or even kind of just jokingly. I don't think so. Not off the top of my head. I'm way too white bread of an individual for that. I didn't even get an award for being white bread. So like, I can't
get
say
like any of those random ones. I just like I was in the middle of the pack in my school.
Yeah, no, I don't think I ever achieved such lofty heights as most likely to shoot up a school.
Well, I think it was probably, more on a comedy thing, because there was one guy in our school that wore black trench coats all the time, and it was like he was in the Matrix, but he wasn't. Like he wore black glasses and black long trench coats. And there was definitely that joke of like, I wonder what he's got under his trench coat type thing. Obviously, it's a joke in the right environment with the right friends. But
In
when
context.
you're making that public in an assembly,
It's a little fucked up.
you know,
Yeah.
that doesn't seem right.
That's like more shaming.
But
than
you know what? It looks
funny.
like, you know, Verlin was a good sport about it and he didn't take it too personal.
I'm just, it's not even that. I'm just surprised the school fucking did it. Like, I don't even know how that came to be. That's just so crazy to me.
All right,
Yeah,
so
I
I've got
didn't
my
have
yearbook here. I've got my yearbook, and I'm just trying to find the pages where you would see everybody.
Mark said, here you go. Mark gave me one right now. Mark gave me one right now. Most likely to be hurt in a ceiling fan accident.
That's you.
That's me.
I think I got the runner-up for most likely to make $1 million. But the main reason I didn't get it was because they wanted the joke. They gave it to the other guy who got most likely to make $1 million, and he also
Jewish?
won most likely to lose $1 million.
Oh,
It gave him
There
both
you
of
go.
them.
so he is Jewish.
That's racist.
Most likely to save $1 million.
Yeah, mostly, yeah.
Man, I'm trying to find this. Oh, here it is. All right, so these are the awards that I won. So I won most likely to marry for money. I don't know why I got picked for that.
Yeah.
I also got class clown.
Yep.
So I got class clown. That's fitting.
Yep.
And I also got most tattoos and piercings. And most likely to be on television.
There you go.
Does Twitch count as television?
Close enough.
Yes, kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Close enough.
It's got TV in the name.
I'm gonna let.
Man,
I'll
I'm looking
let it
I'm looking at
pass.
these pictures. Look at this. Look, I'm going to show you on the webcam here. Look at
Oh,
this.
boy.
Look at me.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I get.
That's me.
What a player.
Right there.
What a
Look
player.
at that. And look at the blonde frosted tips. I don't know if you can tell from
NSYNC.
that.
NSYNC was
Giving
still
me
in vogue.
crap about Tay-Tay.
Look how skinny I was. Look at my arms.
Look at how fucking frosted
God.
those tips are.
Look at the
Shout
class
outs.
clown. I used to wear my North Carolina stuff. I had my tongue pierced. That's Bree. I had a big crush on Bree. Junior high, I had a huge crush on her. High school, not so much, but junior high, man, I was like in love with this chick. But yeah.
This is playing to nobody listening to this right now on iTunes. But Jeff is
Anyway,
showing
yeah.
pictures of the things in his yearbook. The
Yep.
throwback.
So there it is. So there's all
You
my.
use those for the thumbnail.
It's
It's weird looking back and seeing all these people.
Oh
all
yeah.
these high schoolers there.
I haven't seen 98% of them since I've left. I'm not
Well,
particularly beat up about it.
I haven't seen a lot of them in person, but yeah, I have some of them on Facebook. And you know what the crazy thing about all this is everybody looks the same except just like 20 or 30 pounds heavier. Like everybody.
That's
like,
pretty standard.
Yeah,
Everyone
it's
just
like the
got
older
into
you get-
relationships or something, and then you just put
you have
on 30
kids.
pounds.
The older you get, you let it go.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it.
it's pretty
I got
much
a
how it
question
goes.
here.
All right, what's the question?
All right, this one's from our good buddy Jorbach.
Okay,
Current 100,
Jorbach.
yeah. This one I'm going to kind of rephrase, but the question itself was: were you tormented by any particular boogeymen growing up? The way I'm interpreting this question is there something completely irrational but normal that you were totally unreasonably scared of when you were a kid, like young kid or whatever? Like if you look back at it now, you're like, wow, why was I scared of that?
You know, I had that one dream one time where I was seeing it was the world's. I won't even go through the story because I think I've told it before, but I had seen like a ghost or a demon or some shit on my TV screen. You know, when you're looking at a television and you can see the reflection of it, you can see the room.
Yeah.
Well, I would look at the TV and it was angled at the hallway, and my bed was half my bed was in the closet. And so my head would be in the closet, but the door was right beside me. I couldn't actually see. But I remember one time I saw, you know, I had a really bad nightmare because I used to have night terrors. So it was just like, it was very vivid. And I remember seeing it, and it would get closer and closer till it was in front of my bed. And ever since that night, I would sometimes have to put a sheet over my television. So when I was laying in bed, I couldn't see a reflection of the hallway because I would always get scared that I would see the same thing again. So it was like that for a very long time, probably like, you know, 2 or 3 years when I was maybe this was before I lived where you grew up, Adam, but this I was probably like maybe 9 to 11, maybe even 12 years old. Had a problem with that. So I was really petrified about that. And I was also scared of the woods at night. So like I wouldn't want to go. I would go into the woods because it's funny, wherever we used to live, we are always by the woods. Like it was very, I don't know why, but there's always woods, which I guess isn't that hard to do when you live here. And
yeah, I was gonna say, do you remember where you live? Yeah,
there's trees and woods, but it would hit a certain time, so it'd be like 5 or 6 at night, and the sun would be coming down, and I'd start to get anxious if I was like, kind of deeper in the woods, and I'd have to come back. And I wouldn't mind being a little bit in the woods as long as I could see the street lights or like see whatever, but I would like, get freaked out. And there was a path that we used to take when I used to live up in Cowie Hill, where right up by our house, you would take a path and would go basically cut all the way down to Herring Cove Road instead of having to walk all down Cowie Hill and then up down through thing. I know this doesn't say anything to anybody, but I'm just painting a picture for Adam. But there basically was a path through the woods. It was about a 10-minute walk, but it was a clear as hell path. Like it was, people walked this path all the time. It was relatively safe. Like people didn't really get jumped or anything. But there was a few times where I needed to go to the store, and the fastest way to get to the store was to do the path. And I would go down that path sometimes at night, and I would just run. Like, I would just fucking run, just petrified, because it was the woods, and it was at night, and it was safe, and there was times, I remember one time there was a guy walking up, and all I could see was his cigarette, and the cigarette was kind of floating as he was walking, and I was running down the path, and I come to a halt, and I think, like, he scared me, but I think I scared him. So it's pitch black, right? And you could like, your eyes were adjusting a little bit to the darkness, you could see the path, but I couldn't see him. I only could see the cigarette. And I stopped, and we're probably about from here to the doorway, maybe a little bit further back, maybe the chairs. And he stops, and now the cigarette's just floating. And I don't say anything. He doesn't say anything. Like, he's walking, right? And he's probably thinking,
the fuck?
What the fuck is this? What's going on? And I'm thinking, what the fuck is this? And
why is there a floating cigarette?
I literally back up. I start walking backwards, like, he obviously knew I was there, but I was acting like he didn't know I was there. It was ridiculous. So I start walking backwards into the woods off the side of the path, and I just stand there like a statue by a tree. And then he just slowly starts walking, and as he's walking past me, he stops, and the thing's floating. I'm starting to see my eyes are adjusting. I'm starting to see him, and he looks over at me, he says, "Hey man, I see you." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I need to take a piss," right? I just made up some stupid thing. And he was like, "Oh, okay." And he just kept walking. It was the most awkward exchange that I've ever been in my life. It was very weird, but I was just so sketched out.
That's amazing. I don't know how many, like, irrational fears I had, because I wasn't one for, like, phobias or anything like that growing up. As far as, like, irrational fears go, I mean, I don't know. There was, I'll say this. I got uncomfortable, and this is only going to play to Canadians of a certain age range. So for everyone else, this is going to make absolutely no sense. I'll try and describe it as best as possible. And we might have even talked about it here before. But there was it was basically a public service announcement commercial that they ran.
Okay.
Back in the 90s. And it ran forever. And it was for the war amps. The war amputees. And it was it's called, what was his name? Astor or some shit, the robot. And it was basically this CGI, 90s robot running through, jumping around what was essentially just a nonsensical foundry/factory. There's fucking molten metal, there's these big ass fucking buzzsaws and shit, and he's like neo-matrixing himself through this whole thing and shit. And he was a creepy looking fucking robot to begin with. And then at one point, he gets himself caught up, he fucks up. And he gets himself caught up in a buzzsaw. You're watching it, like zooms in, he just straight up just lops his arm off. He's a robot though. Obviously when you're a kid, you don't lose your mind that much. But then like it cuts to him standing up afterwards, and he's got his severed arm in one fucking hand, and he just looks at himself. He's all fucked up, and he like pops it back in because he's a robot or whatever. And he's like, my name's like Astor. I'm a robot, so I can, you know, repair myself. You can't, so play safe or some shit like that. And it was mortifying. It was fucking like he was so creepy, and it wasn't like a happy-go-lucky cartoon style. It was dark. Fucking like super dark, and it would come on like every fucking commercial break for years. Like if you were watching shit mid afternoon, you get to watch this robot fucking lose a limb and then just strap it back on again and be like, if this was you wouldn't be able to just slap your arm back on.
If this was you would bleed to death.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I get to put my arm back on. Play safe.
Yes, so that was I wasn't terrified or anything, but it creeped me the fuck out, and probably an entire, which is probably their entire.
Exactly.
There was
you never
whole
fucked
idea.
with a saw. You never fucked with a saw like that.
Hell no.
So.
Did you go hopping around an arbitrary foundry when you were a kid, Adam?
I know
Mission accomplished.
It was a hot spot for the local children to go run around the foundry for sure. But yeah, so that was mine. Did you have any Panic?
Yeah, my parents don't let me live this one down.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we call this one the answer machine because I mismatched the answering machine with the air conditioner when I was younger.
Excuse me?
I was like three.
Okay.
All
right.
So my parents were our house would get really hot on like the upstairs floor, so they would turn on the air conditioner before my brother and I would go to sleep. I was dead set terrified of that damn machine, so I would not sleep while that thing was running. So my parents would have to like turn it on before, but I would always scream like a banshee, being like, "No answer machine, no answer machine."
Oh no!
And this went on for like months until eventually I realized that it was harmless.
And but how long did it take you to realize that it wasn't the answering machine?
I found that out about 3 or 4 years later when my parents were telling me.
Oh, okay, they dragged that one out. That was a parental.
They just like went with it.
That was a parental inside joke. They laughed at your ass for 4 straight good years. They got some good giggles.
I just like they'd say it's the air conditioner. I'd be like answer machine.
Oh my good.
Not even answering, just answer machine.
So that was your furnace to Macaulay Culkin. Was the
pretty much
the air conditioner answering machine. All right, one more question, because otherwise this is an extraordinarily short rip. Let's see, what do we got here?
Oh, I like this one.
What do you got?
You discover. Okay, this is from Cloudsler, who is a $10 Patreon.
Excellent.
He said, "You discover you're the star of the Truman Show.
Oh God.
Life around you is fabricated, and everyone you know, and all your loved ones are actors. What do you do?"
I mean, even a well-adjusted human being is gonna fucking.
That's fucked up.
Have some existential freaking crisis going on there at that point. Man.
Oxy is an actor.
I honestly, I would probably go a bit loony. Like because at that point, even though you know it's happening, how then, if you went that long without knowing, how then can you possibly discern when if it's happening again, or if it's actually like reality and it's not just being fabricated for you? So like the trust issues that would come out of that by itself would be just ridiculous, for sure. So I'd probably be hyper paranoid at that point as to who is being sincere, legitimate, and then, you know, or are you just part of the show at that point?
Yeah. Oh, man, I don't know, man. I'd probably lose my shit. I would probably, I don't know. I actually just don't know what I would do. Yeah, I'd probably be the same way. I wouldn't trust anybody. But it's like, where are you going to go? Because everybody's in on the show. So it's, at the same time, you're like the center of everything. Very, very
That'd just
weird.
be-
I'd probably
that'd be
just try and
terrible.
I'd probably would do what Jim Carrey did on the show and just run and try and go to the end of the show and try and
to break out.
break out and become free. I mean, at what point, like, what else are you gonna do? Like, you just go. I would love to see a Truman Show sequel where we actually get to see him leave and what his life was like outside of the show.
What would you?
Didn't
I
they touch a
understand
bit on that? Actually, didn't they touch a bit on that with a Black Mirror episode?
I'm not sure. I never watched all of Black Mirror.
Yeah, I kind of had that thought where I wanted that too, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, what would the hook even be for that movie? Like, I kind of like the way they ended it and left it open, because what would be the hook for going back to see a full-length movie about what happened to him afterwards?
I don't know. I think it'd be like maybe actually meeting his real family or trying to figure out how to get back into normalcy or whatever that is. And obviously, he's the most famous person like in the world. So it'd be interesting. I'm not sure how you'd make a movie. I mean, Hollywood can make scripts on whatever, but you know what? At the same time, I do like the fact that we don't know, because that does leave questions in the air. It's like, well, what happened when he did leave? Like, you know
what happened when he left? He turned into what Jim Carrey is right now.
There you go.
Jim Carrey.
He's got that documentary out.
Yes, Jim Carrey escaped the Truman Show, and he is now living the real Jim Carrey life as we speak. He has broken free, and Jim had for all intents and purposes, a massive life philosophy change in a very short period of time, and he went full tilt, and he seems to be pretty happy right now.
That guy is extremely talented when it comes to painting.
Yes, he's an artistic. I mean, I think like most of I guess the best comedians. Most of the best comedians are some of the most intelligent and probably artistic people in the acting space, more so than even like the guys that stick to the drama or whatever. Yeah. So it doesn't shock me that he was like low key a fucking paint god. But I mean, he's gone full on like Buddhist. Dropped a ton of weight, barely looks like himself anymore, aged 15 years inside of 2. But whenever you hear him talk, he seems like he's at peace with himself, and he's looked at his entire career as him putting on a fake version of whatever.
Well, it's what you do as an actor.
Exactly. So he said, I think that like when he was interviewed recently, and I was watching some of the stuff the other night actually, he said something along the lines of, this is just paraphrasing, but he said something along the lines of, you know, you put on all these faces for acting, and at some point you lose, you know, who is Jim Carrey? He said he was asking himself or whatever that question's like, who the fuck is Jim Carrey? I've been all these people. I've been Ace Ventura. I've been, you know, the Truman Show. I've been this. I've been that. I just whatever. And people have an association of who Jim Carrey is, but I don't know who the fuck Jim Carrey is. And so he had like this. Like it just sounds like a massive, you know, internal 180. But didn't he have like some?
He talked about like whenever he'd go onto stage, like. He'd be like, after the show, he'd be like, man, I thought I had it under control, but then like the inner guy came out and like he's the crazy one.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Oh, he talked about how that was always a struggle because he wasn't sure who was really him.
Yeah, like which, you know, after the 90s, it looked like whenever you got interviewed and shit, Jim, or even like in Living Color, which would have spawned eventually the character that was Ace Ventura, which became Jim Carrey. At that point, that's what you saw in all the interviews. Even if he was doing like a serious movie, like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and he was interviewed for that. Fucking, it wasn't Jim from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind come out. It was Ace Ventura come out the woodwork in an interview, and so yeah, it was super interesting. He's always been a kind of an interesting dude, for sure. But now he's just like, I mean, he's
gone
almost
off the deep end for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's almost gone so
borderline
far
crazy.
that
It's
you're
crazy.
like, but at the same time, I can't hate. You know, he seems to
Hey,
have
if he's
found
at
some
peace with
shit.
himself, sure, man.
Then
ahead,
go
man.
nuts.
Do your thing. Do your thing.
Do your thing, Jimmy. do your thing. Do you think that he'll ever do another movie?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He'll do a few more, I think.
I think so.
Do you think he'll avoid comedy now that he's kind of in this state, or do you think comedy is his comfort zone? Where even
I
though
think he'll do some darker comedy stuff, but
Yeah.
like not necessarily his more crazy slapstick stuff. But I think he'll do more.
do you guys ever? I look at actors. You know, this happens more when actors pass away or when they have such massive changes in personality or whatever at certain points in their career. Do you guys ever look back at the movies that they did and then go, "Oh, wait a minute. This kind of was like the foreshadowing for what was coming, or this character that they did in this movie seemed to be most representative of who the person actually was, but they never actually got to be that person outside of film type shit." It's like, I think I'd mentioned this earlier with Robin Williams, where
Yeah,
like
that was the one that came to mind.
where, you know, some of his more serious roles that he did, you look back and you go, "Oh, wait a minute. Robin wasn't really acting all that much here. We were just getting actual Robin Williams here on display." But because we were so used to Robin Williams, what we thought Robin Williams was, you know, the crazy over the top fucking can't keep his mouth shut for 0.2 seconds, you know, just go, that we didn't recognize it and we just thought he killed it. But in reality, like, as for me, I watched Good Will Hunting and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm watching Robin Williams. I'm not watching whatever fucking character this is. I'm watching like the closest representation of what Robin Williams was internally, like emotionally speaking, at that point in his life until, you know, the end of it here more recently. But do you guys ever get that with any other actors? Like the most recent for me was definitely Robin, and to a degree now with Jim's whole swap, when I look back at some of the more serious films he did, I can see some parallels there in Jim's movies. Does that happen to you guys with any other actors that you can think of?
I don't really look that far into it. I think everybody, actors or even everyday people, put on some
everyone
kind
does.
of, you know,
Mask.
put on some kind of face depending on the situation you're in, and then
Yep.
when the door is closed and it's you and yourself, only you know, well, who you are, and if you're putting on. I mean, I've definitely been in positions where I've put on an act or I've put on a, you know, whatever,
yeah.
a face.
But
But yeah, I mean, it's
I'd say Michael Keaton, actually, if you think about it. If you see his portrayal in Birdman and also what he did, I don't know if it's on Netflix, but like, I think it's called The Founder.
Mhm.
Like,
That was a good movie. I like the Founder,
Yeah.
the McDonald's movie.
Yeah, but pretty much I was like watching that and I'm like, you know what? Like the parts where he was like kind of like grappling with what he was going to do with his life, you look at him and he's like, you know what? I can see Michael Keaton kind of doing that because he's only recently had his resurgence back in acting. There was that long period in the middle where he didn't really do anything.
Mhm.
That was like, you know, how much is that as acting?
Mm.
Same with in Birdman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I don't really look at it all that much. I've just whatever.
I don't really think hard
No.
about it, but it hits me when the time comes. Like
Yeah.
when Robin passed, and then you go back.
Yeah, I
and
mean
you
that's
watch
like if
stuff
somebody you know commits suicide or something like that. You know, talking about Robin Williams.
Yeah,
But I mean, even in everyday life, it's even if it was like somebody that you knew personally or
yeah.
whatever.
You make the same. You make
go,
the same realizations.
oh, now I see it.
Yeah,
why
it's
didn't
hindsight.
I?
20/20
Why didn't I
hindsight
pick
or
up on this
whatever. Yeah.
before?
Yeah.
And then you feel bad or whatever the case may be. But usually you can see it, but usually it's too late. It's unless they're reaching out for help or they become a Jim Carrey where they publicly go out and say, hey, you know what, this was all a ruse. This is not who I am. And a lot of times they don't even realize it. They don't even know that, and I think with acting it's a great, even with roles that they can pick, it's great therapy, I would imagine, for them to finally be themselves or give a part of themselves in a way that they can come out of the closet with whatever they're dealing with, but they're doing it in a
everyone thinks
character
it's
where they
just a
don't have to
show.
admit to anything.
Yeah.
It's like they can let it out and act, not even act, but unleash that. And sometimes that's where you get the rawest and that's when you see some Oscar type stuff, because
exactly,
you go, wow, look at this, look at how this is, you know, going. You know, if fucking Leonardo DiCaprio came out and said, you know, I hate black people, and you go, oh my God, you know, the scene that he did in Django Unchained just makes sense.
It's really
you just
funny.
let it
much
go.
worse now.
It's really funny that you say that though, because I was going to bring that up, but not in the sense that he's a racist, but the
which I don't think he is, but I'm saying
but the hot temper that character had.
Oh my God,
I think that's Leonardo DiCaprio inside when he like. I think Leo's got a fucking temper that not everyone gets to see. But how? I mean,
you saw it in The Departed too.
Yeah, you can't. You don't get to just crush a. No matter how good of an actor you are, you don't just get to crush a glass with your fucking hand and keep going and go through all that without that being part of who you are somewhere on some level.
Just let it go. Yeah, you just let it go.
You can't. If I did that to my hand, the first thing I'm acting in the scene, that would pull me out so fucking fast. Unless I was truly fucking.
Oh God, why?
Just that came from somewhere. He was probably like, "I want my Oscar!" Ah,
yeah, exactly.
Give it to me now.
It's like, think of something that makes you truly angry, Leo. I want my goddamn Oscar.
And I think actors do these pick certain roles as well for kind of the headspace that they're in. It probably makes their work easier, where they can just go ahead and do that when they can become more of those characters.
So at some point, Leo was like, "I just need to eat a raw animal heart." Maybe that'll get me the O. Maybe I'll get over on the animal heart part. That'll be good, right? What if I actually dry heave because I'm literally eating an animal heart? Do you think that'll go over well enough? That'll get the Academy's fucking rocks off if I just start trying to eat a fucking actual animal heart.
Yeah.
Oh, bless the guy. He put in a lot of work for it. It happened though.
That he did.
It finally happened. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it on that lovely note. Go and find your own animal heart and give it a rip.
There you go.
And we'll be seeing you guys next week again on the live stream side, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time.
We'll tweet out about it.
We'll moved it up. Yeah, we'll tweet out about it. But hey, we got some Patreon producers. I didn't actually catch if there's been some swings on this, so I will double check that right now. Just to make sure. I don't think so. I think this is pretty much the same.
New 250. I think we had a new 250 and we lost 100.
Oh, did we swap around a bit? I'm looking at it right now.
The site should auto update, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm looking. Well, that's what I'm looking at right now, and it just looks like it's pretty much the same. But regardless, I'll read it off the website, and then whatever's on the screen, if it matches up.
There you go.
Convenient. Bam. So, hey, guess what? Jetrix is still basically paying for all of our lives right now. Sitting at that $500 spot continuously. Postal Panda, apparently, also not giving up the solo 250 on this list.
Chico, who is not up on the site, is a $250 pledger now as well.
That must have literally just happened because this
thing updates daily, doesn't it?
This update, I think it's even shorter cycle than that. So
nah, it said it was on December 12th. He became a pledger of 250.
Really?
So.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if it's I don't know what the cycle is then. Maybe it's every few days or something.
Yeah,
so what was the name again?
His name's Checo, Checo.
Okay.
250.
Okay.
Boom.
Well, there you go. 250, not solo then. Is Postal Panda. Because we've got Chico, Checo, Chiso, Chorizo, Cheese Fries, whatever the name is. But thank you, sir. That's fucking amazing, and we appreciate it. Fry C, Derek P, Naily, Adam B. That kind of rhymed there for a second. We had like a little up and down on the Jamaican J, Ice Wolfie, Jorbach, Lars M, Toad of Steel, Matthew M, I should say, and Xavier A. Thank you all, ladies and gents, for the support. Most of these names have just basically been camping here, except for Cheese Fries. Cheese Fries is brand new, but for everyone else, apparently there's MasterCard and maybe Visa and American Express and whatever else they've been maxing out to stay in these positions for as long as they've been. But thank you all. You're amazing. We will be seeing you guys next week. Again, live stream Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We will tweet it out. And until then, have yourself a lovely ramp up into the Christmas holiday. We're getting there. Buckle down. Drink 3 times as much coffee and alcohol if necessary to get to the end of the road before you get to take a break. And until we see you next time, ladies and gentlemen, have a good one, and peace!
Bye.